All right, so the cartoon that I wanted to give you, oh, my dog is saying hello. The cartoon that I wanted to give you a little bit more information about was the Society of Patriotic Ladies cartoon. It's the one that's at the very bottom of that page. And so what I'd like you to do when you look at it is just think, if you had to explain that to somebody who couldn't see, what would you, like, that couldn't see it, that couldn't see the cartoon, how would you describe it? What would you say about it? And usually when I ask students this, the response is, it looks like a party, or it looks kind of messy, kind of chaotic. And then the next thing to think about, I'm looking at the cartoon here while I'm talking to you. The next thing to think about is look at the specific women in the cartoon. So if you look at the woman that's right in the center, think about how you would describe her. And students usually say, that she's flirting with the man who's kind of leaning in for a kiss. Now, I'm not judging her, but in the context of the 18th century, the cartoonist means for the viewers to judge her. She appears as though she's wearing a lot of makeup. She's showing a little bit too much skin for the propriety ideas of the 18th century. So she has questionable morals, according to this cartoonist. And then if you look at the woman that's next to her holding the gavel, sometimes students say to me, that's a woman, because again, the cartoonist has drawn her in real masculine looking ways. So she's drawn to look not very attractive. And then there's two women that are right behind her. One's wearing a hat. She looks really old, real sour expression. And then the woman sitting next to her is kind of like, got her hands in her lap, and she looks like she doesn't kind of know what's going on. She's clearly clueless. And then there's a child in the picture, and nobody's paying attention to the child, except the dog, who is licking the child while urinating on a box of tea. So the first message that the cartoonist is telling us is that when women get in politics, it's chaos. Women have no place in politics. And the only women that would get involved in politics are women of questionable morals, women who are too ugly or too old or too dumb to get a husband. Questionable morals, right? The woman leaning in for the kiss, too ugly, the gavel, too old, the one with the hat, and too dumb, the woman just twiddling her thumbs. And they're bad mothers. Now, there's another message, though, that the cartoonist is sending to us, and that is the woman who is directly behind and in between the two women that are seated, that are one side and the other has the gavel. She's a woman of color. And if you look really closely, and again, you've got this image on the PowerPoint, you've got it on this page, you also have it on your outline, and you've got it in your textbook, so there's lots of different ways you can see it. But if you look really closely, you can see the woman of color is holding a tray, and on the tray is an ink pot with a pen. And so the second message that the cartoonist is sending is that message, that contradiction that we were talking about. The cartoonist is saying, oh, you don't want to be slaves to the British? You don't want to sign slave like the Daughters of Liberty poem said? Well, look who's bringing you the pen to sign that document. Oh, right, that's actually a slave. So, again, two messages in this cartoon. First, women in politics is chaos. There's no place for them. The only women that would get involved in politics are women of questionable morals, women who are too ugly, too old, or too dumb to get a husband, and they're bad mothers. And then the second message is that women are, that the colonists are hypocrites, calling themselves slaves, when in fact they own slaves. One last thing to think about is the ways in which this cartoon, even though it's from the 1770s, is still reflective of women in politics today, and the ways in which women are questioned while political leaders, in terms of their role as mothers, right, and in terms of what they wear, and in terms of how they look, in ways that men aren't questioned about their role as fathers, or about what they wear or how they look. Just something to think about. Alrighty, thanks.